Welcome to another video. In this video we'll talk about the multi-step container. So multi-step container is born out of not having the header in the multi-step. So in a normal multi-stepper, my apologies. So look, in a stepper you got step 1, 2, 3, but what we found is sometimes you don't actually need the steps. Rather, you just want to deal with a simple container, multi-step. So that's what we did. Here's the element. It's very, very cool. And let me just show you some of the features you can do. It's actually very similar if you use the stepper. No, not a huge amount of difference. You've got your standard back and next button, but let's start with what you can have. So these are your standard steps. The amount of steps you will have will dictate the amount of pages. Okay. So for example, if I click edit mapping here and I just delete this one here, now I've only got 2 pages. If I add 4 items, now I have 4 pages. So that's what dictates that. You can write conditions, you can include an action, give it an icon, all sorts of different stuff available here as well. Just for now, I'm going to keep it at 2 pages. So what we'll do is, let's say, for example, I'm creating, in the first one, I'm creating an account. So let's get another field. So we'll give this one a name. So we'll call this one account name, account number. And then if I go next, by the way, you can go back and forth using these buttons. So next, which is the last page, I'm also going to create, let's say we will create a contact. Simple. And I won't spend too much time here, just give it a first name and last name, and that will do. First name, last name. Okay, so once you've got that configured, if I click on the multi-step container, you also got dynamic values as well that you can pull from Salesforce, which the amount of values you will pull will be the amount of steps available within the multi-step container. So this is ready, this is good to go. And the final thing you want to configure here, if you're using it this specific way, which is the default way of using the back, next, and finish, you want to configure your finish action. So under interactivity, you can either hide controls and set up your own custom ones, which I'll get to in a second, or you can stick to the standard finish one that comes with it. And in order to stick to it, you must configure it. So I'm going to go ahead and configure this action, Salesforce action. We're going to set up a push. My first one is going to create an account. And in the mapping, I'm just going to map account name to account name and account number to number, like that. And then this one will create a child, which is going to create a contact. And in the mapping, the account ID is already mapped. Give it a last name, give it a first name, and that's it. Let me just double check, make sure I've got everything. Yep, it's on create, looks good. Good, 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 good. Now click apply, close, insert my action, and we are good to go. So let's give it a quick test. We'll go ahead and preview. Right, so here we are. So first I'll say multi-step account 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then I'll go next, multi-step contact, and then I'll click finish. And now this is going to go ahead and create the record for me. So if I go over here, look into Salesforce, integration logs, you can see the contact and the account that's just been created right now. So that's good, all right? That's fine, that's working, happy with that. But what if you wanted to set up your own custom buttons and not use the standard finish, back, and next we give you, which is fine. In that case, what you want to do is, first you actually want to set up your buttons. So let's say this one will go, in fact there is no back here, so this one will just be purely a next button. So we'll say next like this, And one thing you want to do is you want to tag your multi-step container. I'll just call it Titan multi-container as a tagging. And then when you click on the button, you click on the hyperlink, go to configure action. You want to switch on what's called interactivity. Click on the gear icon. You've got something called multi-step. You want to enable it. You want to choose it. As you can see, I gave myself a metadata tag, so I know it's this one. And then I'm just going to say this one will be next step. Apply, apply, apply. And then if I go next, I just want to put two buttons here. One will go back and one will just simply finish. So we'll say this one will go back and this one will finish. And same thing, I'll click on the configure action, go over to interactivity, click on the gear icon, multi-step, enable, choose, and then say previous step. Apply, apply, apply. And then on this one here, I'm just going to assign the Salesforce action that I configured, which is this one. Click apply, apply. Now finally, once you've got your buttons, you no longer need the bottom buttons. You just go over to Stepper itself, go over to interactivity and say hide controls. And you're pretty much good to go. So that one's good to go. You just want to make sure that you are on the first page like that and then hide the controls. So now click save, click preview, and same thing will happen again. So we'll do multi custom buttons 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Click next, takes me to the next page. Custom multi buttons. Click finish. It's going to configure my action and run it and push that data to Salesforce just the way it did. And just for the confirmation, we'll go over to the integration log. Whoops, not the commerce. Integration logs, and you can see there is my account that's just been created here as well. Very, very easy. So, and then that's really all the buttons that you need to be aware of. One more thing I want to talk about is if you're not using the custom buttons and you stick to our standard back, next, and finish, and you want to change the captions, you can. Under the captions here, you may want to call this one go back insurance or something like that. And then anything like that, whatever you want to call it. And then this one, say next, I want to add a little like this. It's completely up to you. You can change it, finish, form, something like that. You can always configure the size of these buttons by clicking on the style. If you go over to the button, you can increase the size and the width. It's very, very easy, just like that. That's something you should be mindful of as well, that you have the ability to do that. So just like that, you can change the captions, you can change the button, you can change all the styling in the styling section. And let me see if I've missed anything. Metadata covered, and you can also use animation, you can use conditions, captions we've covered, and everything else within the interactivity. This is specifically very important. And that's the multi-stepper for you.